Let's talk a little bit about Curt Hennig. Unfortunately, he passes away on February 9th. I'm sure you had grown up watching his stuff in the AWA, and then, of course, that Mr. Perfect run, and then spent some time with him in the WCW locker room. And he had even been a part of some TNA shows with you guys early on. And to see that he passes away so young, man, just awful news. What do you remember about that news?
I know exactly. I could take you to the Cracker Barrel. It's the one me and Vince used to meet at. And back early, I remember text and disbelief. Obviously, I had no idea about the disease of addiction or anything that went with it. It was Mr. Perfect passed away. A guy that, and look, here I'm going to take you back to 86, 87, 89. You know, Doc Winkle came in and he was the AWA champion, and Nick was in his early 50s, or late 40s, early 50s, through the 80s. So I watched him before Nick Bockwinkel, before I got in the business. And then as I got into the business, I had that one match with him, but watched him and Lawler wrestle and all that. Then all of a sudden, here comes Curt Hennig, and the athletic, just super charismatic and fun to be around and talkative. And, again, a lot of people, when they see Curt or hear Curt's name, and they think Mr. Perfect and all that. But the first lens that I looked at Curt through, he's the son of a wrestler. His dad was too, just like me. So that's how we immediately bonded, just like I bonded with Owen or any other second generation guys. Dustin Rhodes, when I met him out in Texas in 87, 88. Just go out. And then you see kind of pictures and images and hear stories of Larry the Axe. And then all of a sudden you see Curt. His athleticism from day one blew me away. And then the match him and Lawler had, and Lawler became champion, and just all that. Then, of course, you see Curt through the years go off. And look, the Mr. Perfect gimmick, I loved it. I absolutely loved the gimmick, the basketball, the vignettes, and all that kind of stuff that Vince knew how to just got talent over. But then, of course, had just my memories of Curt as an in-ring performer, and also a guy that I wrote up down, made the up. So when he would come in, a lot of times he would do Memphis and Louisville only. That means after the Memphis show, we'd have to get him back to Nashville, and then he'd go up to Louisville and then fly out or whatever it may be. But he was always so good to me in the early years, and then later on, and then, just hanging around him. And when we got a chance to, and we've documented this, and bring him into TNA, it just wasn't the Curt I knew at all. But still, with that being said, looking across the table at Vince, getting the news, it was just still kind of shocking and just in disbelief. And, wow, so young. It hit me in a different way. Just did, because I felt like I'd known him, quote unquote, my entire career, which I had.